Welcome one, welcome all to the start of our big weekend, our second big weekend in a row of monthly finals. My name is Counterfeit, joined by dealers today to open today's big weekend. Starting of course off with the Android finals. Dealers, the Android players never disappoint.
Oh no, they certainly not. You know, I always love to watch those Android players because we always see something spiced. We never know what those guys they will bring to the table.
Of course, we still love you guys on PC and iOS. And I can see there's already a bit of a rivalry going, as Raheem over on Facebook is already talking smack to the Android players. So guys, when that server merge comes through, you'll be able to back that up with action. But let's take a look through and see who's going to be providing us with that action today, as we've got our top 8 teams competing for the big prizes on Android.
Oh yes, and we do have a lot of strong teams here today as well, Counterfeit. The Japan, 7 Deadly Sins, Tremsada, Spetsnaz, just to mention a few, but starting from the top, Infinity Esports versus Blitz. Infinity Esports, they are coming in as our first seeded team here today, and they have Shia, a player to watch out for, because Shia always gets over 10 kills and never really dies.
We'll also be seeing them going up against Blitz, representing Nigeria. And then below them we have our feature match for the first round, the Japan versus the 7 Deadly Sins. That should be an absolutely huge matchup to get us kicked off today.
Oh, it certainly will be, Counterfeit. I can't wait to see how this will turn out. For 7 Deadly Sins, they've been together for so long, Counterfeit, that they must have a lot of synergy built up together. But for 7 Deadly Sins, it also depends on how well they are getting into this tournament, because sometimes they do really well and other times they kind of fall flat.
Yes, we've seen some big performances, we've seen some embarrassing performances. You can see Gaming Squad in the YouTube chat loves the Deadly Sins. I was sure to see a fantastic game from them. Of course, up against the Japan, very strong team coming to the tournament. Got some very strong competitive success, and that's when it all really pays off, is today, when the prizes are the largest currently available.
Oh, certainly, Counterfeit. That means that a lot of players, they will be going all in here today to try and get as high as possible and get a high placement as possible, and to get those prizes. And Hero Game Simon, hello, nice to see you as well. Are you looking forward to some good action here today? Because we do have so many strong teams.
Yes, Hero Gaming Simon, our moderator and best friend of the stream. If you got any questions, he's almost certainly got the answers. One of the best folks around. But back to that bracket, we've got Huawei against Tremsada. Do Old Gens, or just Old Gens for short.
Yeah, Old Gens also coming into this tournament as a team that you need to look out for, Counterfeit. Tremsada as a team also, they have lost to 7 Deadly Sins in the past, so they definitely will not want to meet up again. Well, they can't meet up against them, but before the grand final, but they don't really want to do that as well. They would love to try and avoid them for as long as possible. For Tremsada, they also used to field Shinsuke, and now that means they have a fairly new roster, as Shinsuke is now playing for Huawei.
Yes, Dynasty Gaming, we've got just below them on the bracket, representing Brazil, have had some pretty heavy losses. Shinsuke and Deja Vu both leaving, and Dynasty Gaming, while they have had some success previously, they haven't been so active recently, so this could cost them now we've come to this high-stakes competition.
That is definitely true. But, you know, sometimes not being that active also means that you haven't really showed too much, Counterfeit. So you can come in with some new tactics and some new ways of approaching the game.
Of course, last but not least, we have Spetsnaz representing Mexico. Again, it's going to be another team we don't have too much info on as of yet, but we're always waiting to see which teams will have been holding their cards very close to their chests. But before we get into the official ESL competition, we're going to get things kicked off with a free-for-all. Just kill a little bit of time along with you guys. The pass key will always be ESL 123. So do come and join us.
Uli Gaming is asking over on YouTube why the tournament is not showing up in the ESL app. Uli, I'm not quite sure why the tournament is not showing up in your ESL app, but this is a monthly final, so unless your team qualified for the monthly final, you can't just sign up for it. You need to participate in the weekly tournaments in order to gain an entrance into the monthly finals.
Yes, this is only the very top 8 teams who get to compete. This is what the weekly tournaments are for, is getting that consistent performance on. So, Gamer, I hopefully your team will be able to make it in for future events. But for now, it will just be these top 8 teams. We will send through the bracket to you guys to the chat, so you can see all the teams that did qualify through today. Of course, we'll get that ESL match pretty darn soon. Apologies again, today we're operating on some backup systems here, so there's a good chance we won't be able to have game audio. But do let us know if everything's working as it should. We do our best to fix anything as it does crop up.
Yeah. But you're allowed to let us know if something is wrong, and then we'll try to fix it as well as possible. Felcian Gaming over on YouTube. What's up, host? How you doing, bro? Well, Felcian, I'm doing quite well. I know Peter is feeling a bit under the weather, but fortunately he is here today as well, so you won't miss out on his lovely voice.
Gaming Squad, you should be able to join with the passkey. There will also be invites going out in the global chat. Oh, I believe actually we've got our first ESL match, so we'll get this game started and then we'll pop back and get to business. Spetsnaz versus Dynasty will be our first one, so it should be a lot of fun. Fortunately, looks like we just missed out on the Japan versus 7 Deadly Sins, but we'll maybe see if we can check back in with those guys a little bit later on.
And now Counterfeit Dynasty is a newly formed team. Their oldest member has been on this squad for 8 days. So these guys, as they used to field Shinsuke and Deja Vu, they are looking to try and regain something right here and really show that these players, they can play well together. And well, let's see if they can do so, Counterfeit. Now going up against Spetsnaz might give them an easy start to this tournament, seeing as how Spetsnaz, they really haven't played for a while.
Yes, it's quite a thing to come into this tournament. We have to assume that they've been making their preparations off stream, or as you said, I think this is going to be a very, very short game. We will try and drop back in with the Japan versus 7 Deadly Sins. Oh, tell a lie. I think what they might have done is leapt ahead of us for the first game, so we might well be able to just join back in with the second game of their series.
Oh, that was a quick game. I wonder who lost that one. So it's been, well, it has been 7 minutes to be fair, but I mean, still, I feel like that is a fast game.
Also, I don't know how many of you guys watching here today were around to see Shaya's community stream before. That was pretty memorable. Managed to, honestly, I admire Shaya, one of the newer community manager along with Redu. Managed to create a pretty entertaining hour-long stream despite some unfortunate technical difficulties.
Well, you know what, Counterfeit? So, you know, you can also make live streams into funny streams as well. They don't always have to be as serious and as professional as what we tend to do. And I think we tend to have some fun as well.
I like to think so.
You know what? I remember fondly back when you read me a story on stream for like 14 minutes.
Overtime, it's the best.
Oh yes, especially when it goes on for 40 minutes. Talking about classical stories, Counterfeit. Have you ever seen Dracula?
I think there's been a few different movie versions, haven't there?
Oh, well, I'm talking about in the theater.
Oh, no. I think most of the movie versions came out quite a long time ago, didn't they?
Ooh. Perhaps. I know Christopher, what's his name? The guy from Lord of the Rings.
Christopher Lee?
Yes. Yeah, Christopher Lee, yes, thank you. He used to play, or, well, he didn't used to play, but he was a Dracula at some point as well.
Yes, he did play Dracula.
Yeah, that was what, like 1958?
Incidentally, if you're trying to get inside someone's head, calling vampires a Dracula is a great way to do so.
Well, okay, wow. Okay, I'm looking at I'm looking at Christopher Lee's IMDb page right now.
Mm-hmm.
And there's 23 different entrances for Dracula.
Really? Wow.
Yes. The first Dracula movie he starred in was in 1958. Then he starred in one in 1966, one in 1968, two in 1970, sorry, three in 1970, one in 1972, one in 1973, one in 1976. That's the last one.
Gosh, that is a lot.
Yeah, well, so I guess you can say that vampires are Draculas.
Well, certainly if they're Christopher Lee infused. I believe, yes, we have got our second quarter-final game. I'm just going to actually have a quick check-in with the players.
Yes, we just got a pass key for, let's see. Well, we did get a pass key for something.
I'm just going to find out, as you can see on the screen,
Yeah.
who the winner of game one is, since these players were so keen to get started. The 7 Deadly Sins picture says, "Give me the cup and no one's going to get hurt." Ah, thank you for that, Yusuf.
You are so nice.
So, guys, we've got for you, as we are getting prepared for this game, some top quality gossip about the teams. We've been doing our research and we found out some interesting roster moves.
Yeah, we definitely did.
I thought you were going to say what they were.
I was expecting you to continue, but yes, we have seen a lot of different roster moves, guys. Shinsuke and how is it pronounced? Shinsuke. Thank you. I always do it wrong.
I throw an H in there, so it's not it's not SCH. It's just Shin.
Right, Shinsuke and Deja Vu. They used to play for Dynasty Gaming, but Dynasty Gaming now are a completely new team. They've only, well, completely new team. The brand is old, but the players, they haven't been a part of it for a very long time. 8 days, as I said. But Shinsuke and Deja Vu, they now play for Huawei. Shinsuke also played for, I believe it was Tremsada as well. So Tremsada is also a fairly new roster. So Shinsuke is certainly one of those Android players that you do want to have on your team. He's very popular for these teams.
So to narrow in on these two teams specifically, because there's something I really wanted to touch on before we get into the second game, is Sonic let us know in the chat, and also Hexagon, our admin for today. The first game did go to the Japan. The Japan, as a team, they've been playing together since the beginning of the team's founding, over 200 days ago. Namuro, who I think is maybe playing today, I'm not sure if their name is written in Japanese, was the only player to not join at the team's formation, and that was only a month after it started. So they're a team who played together for an inordinately long time, and I mean, you know, it's not that many teams who are able to keep a roster together for over 200 days without really that much of a change.
Well, no, that's definitely true, kind of, and it does mean that you have so much synergy as a team moving into this game. But you do have to say that the Japan, their rival right now, is 7 Deadly Sins. Even though the Japan are looking like the clear favorites, they won both grand finals, or they won both grand finals that they got into in August. They did lose one to 7 Deadly Sins. So honestly, those are their rivals, and 7 Deadly Sins, they've been together for a long time as well.
Well, that's very true as well. You know, though not quite the same impressive numbers. Particularly their management stuff for the 7 Deadly Sins. Yeah, they've really been around the block. Pierre Cha starting the team again about 200 days ago, and Escanor in as team manager, and Day Zero as team captain. All those three have been together for a long time, but the difference really comes in their players. All of the players of the, or all of the non-captain manager owner sort of part of the 7 Deadly Sins have been part of the team for 100 days or less. So half that of the Japan players, and Duck, who I don't think is playing today, a very new part of the roster, only joining barely over a week ago.
Yes, and now that means that even though it is a small roster you have on the side of the 7 Deadly Sins as well, kind of fit, that Duck might just be a bit of a problem for 7 Deadly Sins. You want to have everyone looking as strong as possible, and when Duck doesn't have that much synergy, then it might just be a problem for them. And you can see how the Japan, they won game number 1, so 7 Deadly Sins, they might just be outmatched here in this game.
Yeah, I think the extra experience will come to bite them. We can see team captain for 7 Deadly Sins, Day Zero, over on the right hand side. And we've got Queen and I think, well, it's hard to tell honestly, but definitely Queen at least, who one of the captains of the Japan team taking to the field today. We can see, though you guys can't, in the chat, the 7 Deadly Sins, though, despite having lost that first game, they still seem to be in pretty good spirits, and a little bit of banter with opponents, as we will get into that second quarter-final game.
Ooh, and now it is going to be the Japan versus 7 Deadly Sins. It is a best of 3, ladies and gentlemen. So whoever wins this one could either be going forward to the semifinal or push us to a third game.
Alright, let's get it on. So again, apologies guys, we quite likely won't be able to bring you game sounds through today, so we'll keep the music running through. You'll have to make do with us just making the boom noises with our faces.
Pew pew! Pew pew pew! Boom!
I immediately regret this.
Well, you know what? The Japan, they are already fighting. Queen finds that first kill kind of fit. Looking over towards 7 Deadly Sins, however, Day Zero is the player you need to look out for. He has been promoted to a team captain from the last monthly final, and there's no wonder why, as Day Zero is without a doubt their strongest player. Gets a lot of kills, but a lot of deaths as well, so it is truly a double-edged sword that team captain from 7 Deadly Sins is.
Now, the Japanese team managed to take control in the early game. You can see the top of the map in the hands of the 7 Deadly Sins for the time being. That could always change. We do see the Sins, they're managing to keep up so far. The Sins, of course, rocking the most ferocious puppy as their logo. The Japan is sticking to the more traditional flag and based on the Japanese national flag.
Yep, and you are saying that 7 Deadly Sins are keeping up kind of fit. I do completely agree with that, because right now it's 12-11, so there's nothing to disagree with. But 7 Deadly Sins, they do want to be ahead of the curve right here. They are down 1 game. You don't really want to find yourselves even in such a deciding game.
So let's see, we have got the number 5 player.
Counterfeit Cupcake over in the YouTube chat saying pew 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 pew.
Ah, Cupcake, you can join in with the sound effects. As, oh gosh, the number 5 player, the top scorer for Japan at the moment, will get cut down in close quarters. Maybe the 7 Deadly Sins with a chance to fight back here. It's turned into a brawl up at the top of the stairs to Japan. Hold close for now. The 7 Deadly Sins approaching from several different angles, and they will now take the lead.
Good job, 7 Deadly Sins. Remember, guys, in the 2 grand finals that the Japan got into in August, they lost one of them to 7 Deadly Sins. So there truly is a rivalry between these 2 teams, and right now, 7 Deadly Sins, they don't want that to stop. They want to win this one.
Yeah, the Japan 1 step away from making it through to the semi-finals, prizing for second and first place today, of course. Which means that you have to get through these next 2 rounds. Loi is going to get in on the pew pew train. Oh boy, maybe this is something that people like. Maybe we should just make our own sound pack with pew 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 pew, boing boing boing.
Bam, bam. Woo, woo, woo.
So
Counterfeit, what does an airstrike sound like?
Yeah.
Okay, I reckon a bomber's like.
I think that's a reasonable interpretation.
Thank you.
So let's see. So we're looking for the player for the 7 Deadly Sins with a Japanese name. We will ask for you guys to let us know what this player's name is, because we don't really have a way of translating. But the number 2 player, at least, for the 7 Deadly Sins, pulling on quite a show, does get cut down by Queen, of course, one of the team captains of the Japan lineup. So it's almost dead even as we come to the halfway point. 7 Deadly Sins ever so slightly ahead for just a second, but it's looking like an incredibly close second game. And this is just what we expected from 2 high-impact teams.
Oh, certainly Counterfeit, I like what we're seeing. Nobilox moves in, gets 1 kill before being cut down. Plan B, we are gonna make a community game after this one if the Japan Day wins, but we will see this series to the very end. So if 7 Deadly Sins they are to win this one, then we're gonna go to a 3rd game. And right now 7 Deadly Sins they are well on the way to winning this one, but the Japan they're just behind and not giving up.
Yeah, that's some very, very strong performances here from the French team. They're coming down to the last couple of seconds. Queen just managed to slide in and find another kill, but that's Piero from up on high, raining down the firepower at the top of the stairs. The Japan trying to make their stand, but they are behind. There's still a lot of time left. The clock. Zeldris gets the double through, somehow surviving, keeps pumping out those grenades. The number 2 normal trying to hold their ground against the encroaching French team members, does get one down. The Sins so close to ending this out.
Yes, it's gonna come down to this very last one, kind of. And Japan, they pull their way back. Zeldris so close to winning, might have just won them the game a few moments ago, but in Japan they don't give up and they're still fighting for this one. 3 more kills for either team will do it. Queen moving up 12-12, but it is going to be 7 Deadly Sins finding a kill before they do get cut down. Queen moving up, and ultimately 7 Deadly Sins they end up finding those last 2 kills. We're going to go to a 3rd game. We're going to go to Scramble.
Very nicely played. Piero really stepping up for the squad in that last game. Saw 16-8, strongest performance of anybody on the team. It's only by 2, but ultimately that keeps the hopes of the French team alive. Pretty damn impressive stuff. We're looking to see what happens in game number 3. Guys, we're going to a short break. When we are done with this next game, we will be opening up to the community for those community games under ESL 1, 2, 3. So stay tuned, and we'll be back as soon as possible with the decider, the Japan versus 7 Deadly Sins. Daijabu, Daijabu, Daijabu. Let's go for game number 3. 7 Deadly Sins against the Japan. Heading out now on to Scramble.
Let's go, I think is what you said. Right?
It's my attempt at saying alright.
Oh, Matthew McConaughey, welcome to the stream.
He's a long-time viewer, first-time caller. Well, actually, that's not true at all.
Whoa!
Whoa!
Wow, normal? Jeez, someone is angry about losing game number 2. I think the entire team of Japan are angry because right now they're not dying. They're just finding kills left, right, and center. 1-8 right now.
Man, that is a gnarly way to start off. So Normal got 4, Queen Nitori, and one of the other players from Japan all getting an incredible start to the game. It looks to be that the 7 Deadly Sins are getting pinned down in the command center, which of course the Japan could just sit back now with this massive early advantage they've gotten for themselves. Instead, it looks like they're going to continue to put the pressure on, maybe try and spawn trap them in there, and continue to pick away at the squad.
5-15 counterfeit. 7 Deadly Sins, they find themselves quite far up against the wall right now, and they're caught just up in that upper corner. There's no way that they can get out. Zelda's just trying to find some shots over towards the Japan, trying to fight their way out. But honestly, I don't think they're going to be able to do that. Good airstrike comes in, but it's only going to be 1 kill. And it doesn't really make or cut the way for them to return out to the battlefield.
7 Deadly Sins could not be in more trouble, getting absolutely slaughtered. They do try and send out a flanking member, but immediately they get cut down as well. There's only a few ways out of the command center. Of course, we'll be looking towards Pierrot from the last game. It was an incredible performer for the team, but this time has been rendered almost irrelevant.
Pierrot 1 and 2 counterfeit. Can't really get into the fights. You would love to try and push out, but the problem right now is that Japan, they're covering every single entrance. So even if you get out, you're just going to get out into 3 people just shooting at you. And there's no way that this is going to be easy for them to try and get out and actually get into a position where you can then get out of that corner. Right now, it's like watching a boxer trying to defend themselves, but not being able to do so.
Yeah, the pressure very much on the Sins. This is the last chance for one of these two teams. It seems like Japan are all over this game, and a lot of that thanks to Normal's early performance. Did pick up some deaths as they went along, and I think the rest of the team has been picking up the slack. The number 5 player, 9 and 2 so far. Of course, we're seeing the assaults coming out en masse for the Japan as they need to fill that command center with grenades.
Remember, ladies and gentlemen, game number 2 was so close, but right now, the Japan, they're just saying, we don't need 7 minutes, we need 2, 3, and we can take you down. The French squad right now finding themselves so far behind in a deciding game. Whoever wins this will move into the semifinal.
Couple of kills do come in for the 7 Deadly Sins. They have managed to break out onto the main map itself, but it's still going to be so very hard to stay on their feet. The Sins down to just 4 of those aforementioned 7 on the field. The Japan up to 40 instead.
10 more kills is all the Japan they need. And at this point in time, counterfeit, 7 Deadly Sins, they need a miracle. They can't afford to die a single time if they want to make this comeback. And they just die twice out of nowhere. Thrice as Queen finds another one.
Do let us know, our Japanese fans, how do we say this player's name? Because they've definitely been the star for the Japan squad. The number 5 with that little flying sniper icon has certainly been raining down hellfire on the French team, who just, they've only managed to break out of their defensive position once, and it's looking like the Japan's game plan is almost going to go off flawlessly.
Yeah, well, if the Japan, they keep this up counterfeit, then they would surely be one of the favorites, as we said, going into this broadcast of this tournament. Right now, they're just looking extremely good. And while the rivals were the 7 Deadly Sins, I think it's clear to say that today, the best team in that rivalry surely is the Japan.
So all going to be over in just a few more heartbeats. Last chance for the miracle run that seems so very unlikely. Pierre and Eska both get those kills through. Queen landed one of their own. Last few seconds, and it will be that number 5 player picking up that final kill and definitely taking more than their share of the limelight.
Moving into the semi-final, the Japan will go counterfeit. They're gonna move up against Blitz, who were able to take down our number 1 squad, which is quite surprising seeing Infinity Esports lose against Blitz. Blitz, they haven't played since May, but you know what? Sometimes just hiding your strategies is the way to go. And right now, Blitz, they showed us that that is what they did here today.
So there we go. The number 5 player and Queen at 13 kills apiece, but the whole team performance extremely strong from the Japan. Let's get out of here though, because we are going to be headed to the community games now we're done with that series. If you are on Android, if you'd like to play live on stream during the break, then please use the passkey ESL123. And you can play with people from the stream, you can play with people from the community, but we'll make sure you're front and center until the next ESL match comes a call-in.
Are you going to be playing in on this one, Counterfeit?
Not this time, but who knows? Who knows what might happen?
You know what, Counterfeit? We could play in on the PC ones. I certainly wouldn't mind not doing that, even though I always suck when I'm playing in those PC ones.
Well, that's a good point. We have a little bit later on got that PC tournament, and of course the iOS as standard. And then tomorrow we'll be dropping in for multiple more finals there. So a hell of a lot of MC5 over the course of this weekend. And yep, guys, do check out the global channel or the global page. That will give it all of the times to you in local time. So PC, let's see, we're coming up on 1 o'clock, so about 4 and a bit hours from now. And then iOS Blue in, about 10 hours, I would guess. Then we've got what have we got tomorrow?
Tomorrow we have 2 multi-finals going on. That will be the blue and the red. And I do believe we do have the red weekly cup as well.
Yeah,
no. Tomorrow we only have... Wait.
Oh, we've actually got less than I thought. We've just got our regular one. I think they may have moved the finals along a week. I'm not sure. We've definitely got... we'll have to have a word with our admin system, make sure. As to what's going on there. Because the finals do sometimes get moved around a bit. So, we've got the Android finals, obviously, which we're showing at the moment. PC finals on the 14th of September. With the red and blue iOS finals on the 15th of September. So that weekend will be bigger. But for now, enjoy the community game. Just let Riddler get into place. We shall be back shortly. We'll have even more ESL action as the 7 Deadly Sins get knocked out of the competition. The Japan, one of the favorites to win the whole thing, will move forward. And we'll catch you guys in just a few moments' time. Welcome back, guys, and a very well played game. Curie, I think the one who stuck around to the end just to make sure we saw just quite how much they scored in that previous game. We are still waiting on our next ESL match, so we'll keep the custom games coming. Huawei and Whole Gens will be going through to face off against Dynasty Gaming, and I think you mentioned before, it looks like Infinite Esports weren't able to make it along today, so Blitz have taken their place in the semi-finals to then go up against the Japan, hopefully pretty darn soon. So let's get another game going. Let's go back to free-for-all since we haven't had one of those on stream. I think having a free-for-all on Scramble could be interesting because that's the map that sort of lends itself very well to team play. But for free-for-all, I think it could be a glorious mess.
Yeah, I think we could definitely do that, Confit. I don't see why not.
Alright. I mean, wait. Daijobu? Yeah. That's right? Yeah, Daijobu. See? We can add that to our sound effects for the games.
Daijobu? What does it mean?
It means alright.
Ah.
Let's see if we just get the pronunciation down.
大丈夫
Daijobu. So I think a bit longer on the O. Daijo. It's like J-O-E. It's like the name Joe. Daijobu. Playboy's never seen dealers play on a PC or mobile. I think it's time now.
Ooh, Playboy. I'm going to be playing later on in the PC ones. I'm not comfortable playing on mobile because I suck even more there.
Hey man, it's not time for a pity party, it's time for a patty pity? I don't know, I don't really have anyone to go with that one. But, all you guys in the chat, once you see D-List play, well, you won't forget it.
You're going to be scarred for life. I'm just saying it, people.
Let's get this community game started. So, we have had confirmations that the monthly finals, which were scheduled for this weekend, have had to be rescheduled. So we'll update you guys once we've got some new dates in for them. I believe we've still got the previously scheduled monthly finals, which were taking place next weekend in place. So that's all a bit confusing. But keep your eye on the ESL Play Modern Combat page, and as those things get put into place, they'll start appearing in the tournament listings. There we go. There you go, D-List. Playboy Gaming is going to be your number uno fan.
Yeah. Playboy Gaming, I'm looking forward to seeing you there as well, bro. I'm gonna definitely try and put on the show and actually do well. Counterfeit's voice would be good for movie trailers. Which kind of movie trailers do you think, Yusef? I think Counterfeit could be definitely an Avengers guy.
In a world without pants.
Without pants?
Pants.
Oh, pants. Okay, yes. So in a world without pants, what happens in a world without pants?
Give me a noun.
A noun?
Like an object.
Legs.
Oh, like a... Okay, I'll keep legs, but give me like a mammal or like some kind of animal kind of thing.
Some kind of animal.
Including people or anything like that.
Okay, well, you can have a platypus.
Okay. In a world without pants, a platypus with no legs must do the impossible.
What is the impossible?
I don't know.
But it's impossible. Interesting.
Have to figure that out. Guys, let us know what's impossible for a platypus with no legs.
In a world without pants.
That's true. It's post-apocalyptic very specifically.
Interesting.
So let's just chuck the bracket out to you guys again. So you said, we've been working our way through. So we've seen our first completed quarterfinal. I believe there's a good chance we'll have Blitz versus the Japan starting up before too much longer, though there may be some admin stuff going on in between, which will keep us from getting into the next game. For the most part, we'll be looking to try and bring you both semi-finals, unless anything does go a little bit right. And then, of course, the grand finals themselves. These normal tournaments, the players competing for the share of 7,000 credits. I believe for this grand finals here on Android, it should be 30,000.
Ooh, that would be nice, kind of. See, any team that could get into the grand final definitely deserves all of those points.
Yeah, and you can spend them on a credit party for you and your friends, and possibly your platypus.
Without legs in a world without pants.
Well, you can buy them for new legs, I suppose.
That's true. You're not dumb, kind of it.
Thank you for that faint praise.
Not like I ever expected you to be dumb, kind of it, but hallelujah.
Oh gosh, oh gosh. So we're watching Plan B at the moment, but there are some other pretty strong performing players. We've got Nino in the number 5 position, 15 and 7. Of course, as you might expect, the Recon getting a lot of mileage on these free-for-alls, able to evade a little bit of notice on the radar with Recon's unique features. Means it's a lot easier to sneak up and pick off those unsuspecting kills. Like so.
Unexpected kills.
They are the deadliest.
Well, they are certainly unexpected. Okay, so an update, ladies and gentlemen. Our admin, Hunter, is working on getting a semi-final out to us. It's looking like we perhaps have a protest in the Japan versus 7 Deadly Sins, and in Huawei versus Trimsada. No, Huawei versus Trimsada Dual-Gens. I think are currently in game number 3.
So while we let those semi-finals stew in your imaginations, I'm curious, Steelers, did you ever play GoldenEye?
The James Bond one.
It's because Scramble really puts me in mind of the GoldenEye game for the N64, which was, I think, a hugely big deal at the time.
No, I can't say that I have.
I mean, I was reading some discussion on it recently, so for any of you guys who are on the younger side, as in, because I'm coming up at 35, so I remember when this was a thing. But
we have a code.
Ooh, we do.
Wait, that is for a quarterfinal, I think.
Oh.
Alright, sorry, continue to tell your story and I'll figure out what's happening.
Alright, well, so, for any of you guys who are unaware, GoldenEye on the N64 was one of the definitive first-person shooters on console around the time. It was absolutely huge. Saw some people discussing it recently. I don't think it holds up tremendously well because the technology wasn't quite there, but compared to other similar games, I believe it was the first 3D shooter, like a sort of a true 3D shooter. And it was also it had a lot of content in it as well, loads of levels, loads of characters, including the legendary Oddjob, a character who was at least a good head shorter than all of the other characters, making it extremely hard to actually hit them. It's a gameplay mechanic which I feel should be in every game.
Yeah, I can't say that I've ever played GoldenEye. Though I watched the movie.
The movie is excellent.
Yeah, which that's Pierce Brosnan, right?
Yes, I think that's one of his best ones.
Yeah. Which James Bond is your favorite?
I think GoldenEye's definitely got a special place in my heart, especially because it's got the game connection as well. But the movie is excellent by itself. I think there are a lot of James Bond movies. I think it's worthwhile going back and watching some of them, just because I think it's easy to sort of forget about all the stuff that's come before. As we congratulate Nino and Plan B along with Ganondorf and Curie. Some pretty strong free-for-all performances there. Between first and fourth place, only 5 points separating. Pretty impressive. Yeah, I don't know actually. I think it probably just is GoldenEye. I don't think I can think of any other James Bond movies which really jump out at me.
But who's your favorite James Bond?
So, I think it's tough. I think Sean Connery is always going to be, you know, a lot of people's definitive James Bond. I really did enjoy the Pierce Brosnan James Bond. I thought it was very, very good. I think probably Sean Connery is still, for me, more definitive. Even if he isn't necessarily in the movie which was the best.
Yeah. Well, I would say Pierce Brosnan is my favorite one as well, but I really like Roger Moore more than I like Sean Connery.
Yeah, I mean there's certainly very different approaches.
Yeah, there certainly is, and I just think that Pierce Brosnan is my favorite, but that's mainly because that's the guy that I grew up with.
Yes, like I was still coming off the tail end of the Sean Connery stuff. Hey Tony Gamer, welcome to the stream. We're just having a bit of a chat, bit of a net-atter, as we wait for our next ESL matches to come through. Just discussing a little bit of James Bond. We're inspired by Scramble, which is a map which has certainly got a lot of similarities with the now pretty aged GoldenEye game. Which, to be fair, I think when I came across it, it was maybe even a few years old at the time, but was still making a huge impact. Of course, on PC, around the same time, I think we had things like Half-Life and things like that coming out, so it wasn't necessarily definitive in terms of, like, being the most accomplished first-person shooter of its era, but I think it may well have been, well, it's definitely on consoles it was, and I think it brought the idea of first-person shooters to the mass market in a way which I think PC just didn't have the same kind of accessibility. Ah. So we had a couple of players. Well, we'll keep them coming in. Curie, welcome back again. So guys, tier 7 weapons, tier 3 armor. Come in and join us. We'll do this one as a breakdown while we have a word with our admins to check where we are with the tournament itself. So hope you guys will come in and spend a little of your hard-earned day or nighttime, wherever you might happen to be on the planet, alongside us. Get to know some players. You know, Dealers, I feel like you don't really know someone until you've been in a team battle beside them, or perhaps even a tournament or two.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am trying to get a hold of a semi-final as soon as possible. It's most likely going to be the upper semi-final, Blitz versus Japan.
Alright guys, we'll get that done. I'm curious actually, Needless, what kind of experience do you have playing competitively?
I used to play... Oh, we just got a code, by the way. But I used to play competitively for a Team Fortress 2 team in the European Team Fortress 2 League.
Hey, neat.
Yeah, up until I messed up my hand and now have the good old... I don't know what you want to call it. Like, hand problem.
Oh, that's too bad. Well, guys, we'll be going to a very short break while we do get into that Japan versus Blitz upper semi-final. So guys, enjoy the community game. You can still come and join it with the ESL 1-2-3, but unfortunately we cannot stick around for we have business to take care of. We'll catch you guys in just a few moments time with that second match of the day and our first semi-final. Alright, alright, alright. It's time for the Japan to make their next appearance live on stream. This time, taking on Blitz, the Nigerian representatives who did get a bye through the first round since their opponents, the number 1 seeded squad, Infinite Esports, were not able to make it along today.
Yeah, but Blitz are gonna go up against the Japan, so they definitely have one big task ahead of them, kind of. Taking down the Japan would be quite a feat for the Blitz, but, well, they have as good a shot as everyone else.
Alright, let's get some particle waves up in here, as the Japan look like they're dominating in the early going. Managing to push Blitz all the way back to the corner. Number 3 normal, 3-0 so far, bringing out the morph with the shotgun and making a pretty massive impact.
Oh yes, finding 3 kills already without dying a single time is definitely something to look out for, kind of. Bringing out that morph, finds a kill with that knife, and that right now the Japan 18-3. Blitz, I said they have a chance, kind of, and I might have to take that back, because right now it's looking like the Japan, they are just blitzing down upon the Blitz.
Yeah, that's the right word for it. Blitz, their strategy written on their name tags and being used against them. Jeez, well, we get to see what happens when one of our top teams goes against a team that's not quite ready for them. I've never seen a team get up to 30 quite this fast though. Less than 2 minutes elapsed. The Japan are into full frenzy mode. And yeah, apparently they've got some place to be, because they want to get done with this semi-final as soon as they possibly can.
Oh, it certainly looks like that. They just want to go straight into the grand final, and, well, with the way the things are going, they could do that without playing MC5 for 7 minutes, kind of. We're about to see 3 minutes being used here for the Japan. Well, rather like 3 minutes and 20 seconds, and they're about to reach 40 kills. The Blitz, they might not even get 10 kills before losing this grand final. Sorry, semi-final rather.
Yeah, the Japan just putting the Blitz into a blender in this game and coming out with something delicious for themselves, which is, based off this performance, as I desperately try and find anyone from the Blitz side who's not currently dead. But this almost guarantees the Japan a place in the finals. As we said before, being in the finals means you are guaranteed to take home a fairly substantial amount of credits today, at least 10,000, 20,000 to first, 10,000 to second, and of course the special ESL camos up for grabs here on Android. Yusuf, I think that may well have been one of our fastest matches ever, and it was utterly brutal.
You know what, kind of, if I tell the admins right now that game 1 already went to the Japan, I'm sure they wouldn't believe me, because this was one hell of a fast match, and Blitz really never stood a chance.
Alright guys, we will of course be getting into the second game of our upper semi-finals in just a few short moments time. Hopefully, we will get a little bit more MC5 in our second encounter, but stay tuned, grab yourselves some delicious water or the beverage of your choice, and we should be back soon. Game 2 of the upper semi-finals, the Japan versus Blitz. Daijoubu! Alright, Daijoubu. That's right, I'm mixing the two up as we get into the Japan Blitz game number 2 of our upper semi-finals. Apologies for the visual quality there. Let's see if we can fix that by changing across. Kind of.
You know what? Perhaps next time you can say alright in Danish as well.
Oh, that's true. Maybe I could. As we're expecting this to be a fairly clear massacre in the favour of the Japan, I think we've got time for it. But yes, no, you're right. China did leave me wrong, and I should think better. So what is all right in Dutch?
In Dutch? I'm Danish, my dude.
Oh wait, Danish. Sorry, I'm brain.
Alright, the way you would say all right in Danish would be udmærket.
Udmærket.
Can you say that again?
Udmærket.
No, you don't say ul, you say ud with a D, ud. Ud. Yes, I think that's
like
more closer.
Old.
Yes. So udmærket.
Udmærket.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I think that's as close to it as you'll get. Why are you laughing? I'm serious, man.
There's a hole in my bucket. Udmærket. Udmærket.
Sure.
Yes. No, Hero Gaming Simon Mango. You're right. You should not have brought up a rather sensitive subject. Apologies, guys. So things going pretty much. Oh, excuse me, Visor. You cheeky app. If I pay for you, I certainly don't expect you to pop up while I'm using you. Ooh. So, for any of you guys who aren't aware, who may be dropping in the stream, apologies for the lower stream quality. Today we're using a backup solution for our stream. Today we want to make sure we didn't miss out on the rest, on the Android files. It doesn't happen very often, but apologies if any kind of weird visual glitches come up, and unfortunately game sound is not an option on this very tertiary solution we've got in place here today. But at least you can see the games, and we can see that Japan well on their way to securing their second game win and a place in the finals, along with those guaranteed credits.
Well, to Japan, I think this is going to be an even faster game than the first game they played here against Blitz. Last time around, did Blitz get 10 kills come of it? I know they got 8. They might have gotten 9. I can't quite remember, but they definitely got 8.
Oh,
I don't think they're going to get that close this time.
By the end, it was 10. This game has actually gone on very marginally longer than the first game, but the result is pretty much the same. It's a shooting gallery for the Japanese team here. Blitz, they came in as our number 8 seed. They are definitely one of our developing teams going up against Japan. I think a team that's easily in position to make a serious run at becoming champions here today.
Oh, well, you know what, kind of fit? With the way that they're playing here, I don't see a way of stopping them. They have tried to go up against Dynasty Gaming or Tremsada. Dynasty Gaming might be able to do something against the Japan. I think Tremsada, perhaps not as much, but Tremsada, they do certainly have a star player in Bro. He always gets a lot of kills, a very low amount of deaths, but the rest of the team doesn't really tell the same story, so I think that could be hard for them to really pull through.
Alright guys, we're going to get you all out onto stream once more. We'll just pop out this one, there we go, got chucked out. And we'll be back in with the custom game. So if you've got a tier 7 and below loadout on weapons and tier 3 on armor, so more or less ESL rules, then do come and join us. If you're on Android and you'd like to play on stream, show off your skills, and maybe, just maybe, use it as a job interview for one of our teams. We'll drop into the chat the link to the Discord. If you haven't got a team you'd like to play in future Android competitions, or indeed iOS or PC, then head across to there, find yourselves some new buddies, and start your own MC5 ESL journey.
Yeah! Oh. Of course, you would love to start the ESL MC5 journey. Obviously, guys, we are one big family here in the ESL MC5 community. So I would say that joining up is definitely not the worst decision you could make. There is certainly worse decisions to be made, like which other dumb decisions can we think of? Like buying a hammock in a country without trees.
I feel like, Dealers, are you familiar with the phrase damning with faint praise?
No.
Well, it's, in this instance here, it's when you're saying, I mean, it's good compared to something really bad. So, let's try and be a little bit more positive.
I'm so sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, actually, so this was something we were talking about a bit earlier on. So some of our own experience of playing competitively. So I'm curious, do you have any stories about the times you were playing Team Fortress 2 as part of a team? You know, because I imagine it must be a bit different than maybe people would expect.
I think one thing that people they don't realize about competitive play is that when you play competitively, it's like 10% of the time you actually play in tournaments. Around 50% of the time you practice on your own or with a team member, and then like the rest of the time you actually play together as a team. It's not always about playing as a team. You very often just practice on your own.
That's interesting. Like, I imagine it must vary between teams. I know certainly with, say, with League of Legends, for example, the game just honestly became a different game when you were playing as part of a group. Because, I mean, that's a game where you would, I imagine it would be a similar kind of thing. You know, of course, we got the solo queue for MC5 and squad blasters and things.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've never actually been part of an ongoing squad to get that same feeling for MC5. But I imagine, the whole thing of not just playing the game but developing as a team, just it's got to enrich the game so much.
Oh, certainly does kind of fit, and I do think that playing in a competitive environment is fun if you like to compete, but you also have to think about how much time and effort you put into it, because I used to play at least for 2-3 hours of Team Fortress every day, and it did mess up my wrist. So just think about how much time you're putting into it and what you're thinking of getting out of the whole experience.
Guys, we'll be back shortly as our MC5 competition resumes. For now though, enjoy the community game. You can still use the passkey all the way through to the end to join in. So get in quick and make the difference. We'll see you guys in 7 minutes or less. Welcome back, friendos from around the world. I believe we will be having our grand finals shortly because the previous results has already been established. In fact, we're going to have it right now. So guys, come in and join us. Of course, we saw the Japan making it through. They will be joined by Old Gens representing Spain. This is actually one of the biggest performances for Old Gens that they've had in quite some time.
Well, you know what, kind of it. That is certainly true here for Tremsada. They are looking to pick up the slack and actually win this game. But you know what? They're going up against the Japan counterfeit, so it's not going to be easy at all.
Yeah, last time round, or in the semi-finals at least, we did see an absolutely terrifying display from the Japan, just demolishing the opposition from Blitz. Admittedly, Blitz came in as the number 8 seed, and I think one of the very new teams to the scene. Old Gens, I think a whole different kettle of fish, but I think you're right when you said it before, the Japan definitely favourites coming into this one. But we'll have to see. This should be one of our most fiercely contested matches of the tournament, as is only right of our best of 5 grand finals. X Gaming, is there any plans on Modern Combat 6? I do not believe so. I've heard nothing to indicate that would be the case, and there's still active development on MC5, so I wouldn't expect one anytime soon. Of course, you know, it's a lot of time with game studios will be very coy about that kind of thing, but yeah, we've literally heard nothing at all about it, so I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. I know that MC5 has been around for a long time, but I don't know, I can figure if they keep building on it.
Well, it still is in development, so I can't imagine that it'll get changed.
So we're just waiting on that lobby to come back up. It looks like it's not quite there as of yet. So guys, we'll take a short break. While we do, please do grab yourselves a drink, get yourself ready, find yourselves as many ways in as many languages to say alright. For we will have the Japan versus Old Gens coming up in just a few short moments' time. Welcome back, everybody. It seems like a rather unusual circumstance has taken place, as it appears like the Japan, favourites to win the tournament, have conceded their final round of competition, entering in 3-0 for the opposing team, the Old Gens, and thus gifting them over 20,000 credits without a fight. Boy.
I cannot believe this.
I don't think I've ever seen that happen before.
No, it's definitely quite unusual, but apparently it has happened.
So guys, we'll try and fit in one more community game before we're done on Android. Of course, we'll be moving on to PC a little bit later on this afternoon. Do check in with the with the main page, which I'll post that again to all the chats. So PC September Cup #1, and of course we'll be back on iOS to end out this evening at 2300 UK time, and of course midnight Daedalus o'clock.
Daedalus o'clock. I had no idea that that is the time zone.
Clockdalus.
Clockly loose.
Clockdalus.
Clock emihus.
Yeah, we were just waiting on confirmation from the Japan that was entirely intentional. I mean, I can't see a situation under which that was done by accident, but you never know. It could have been a mistake. It could have been a... I don't know, honestly, but it's never happened before, so we're going to wait. Nessie, who's helping out Hexagon on the admin desk, is going to try and get a hold of them to confirm that's the case. If we don't hear any differently, though, I presume that's going to stand.
Yeah, well, we're waiting for confirmation from our admins.
Black Zone. What path are you talking about? Oh, the website. So if you head across to play.eslgaming.com/modern combat/global, they'll get you in there. Alright, I think we got enough to get this one started, so we'll just run through this last game.
Yep, and then we can make noises while we talk. So,
oh no, I think
okay.
I don't think Cupcakes are on.
Pierre is telling us why the Japan forfeited. So apparently, according to Pierre Cha, the Japan, they want the Invictus cam, which is a rare camo, and the first place camo is Bullet Life. And they don't want that.
Oh, fair enough. Well, there we go, guys. I will check into that between tournaments as to whether or not the winning team gets their choice of the new or old camo. I would assume that's the case, but I'll have to check with our community managers as to what the agreement is there. Certainly, yes, as I'm saying, the Bullet Life camo, there was the problem where it got released on the black market for a while. I still think a lot of people don't have it. There has been some discussion of there being another ESL camo maybe at some point, though I haven't heard anything about that recently, so take that as merely a scurrilous rumor.
Yeah, we're not sure, of course. We're definitely not sure, ladies and gentlemen, but for now it does seem that Old Gens are going to be the winners of our monthly finals here for Android.
Pierre Cha, thank you for that update about the Bullet Life camo. Yeah, I don't know. It is a very unusual circumstance. So, also for any of you guys who are holding out for the monthly finals this weekend on iOS, do be aware they have been postponed to another weekend, and that has yet to be established exactly when that will be. So, we'll still have our regular competitions, as I've said, PC, and the 2 iOS competitions, in addition to this Android, which we've got today. But we will not have those red and blue monthly finals this weekend. Next weekend, of course, they're a whole different story. We will be having those 2 there, as well as our PC finals, the same time the Android finals started today. At least as stands. It's always subject to change, so keep your eye out on the ESL Modern Combat Global page. Those details will always be the most up-to-date ones, but it's usually a good idea checking the day ahead. if you can remember. And then if anything does changes, you'll know ahead of time.
True story. So, ladies and gentlemen, of course, look out for all the information that usually pops up on the ESL Discord as well.
So guys, good to see a good bunch of us turning up for this last one. Yes, Yusuf, the Bullet Life being available on the black market definitely was a mistake. It's one of those things where I assume the way it works in Game Loss backend is that they've got a database and there's a bunch of tags for various different things. You know, is this on the black market? Is this not? Is this, you know, etc., etc. And someone just made a mistake. They're putting the wrong 1 or 2 or 0 where it should have been otherwise. So, Pierre-Char, there's a camo that no one has that they should put in first place for next finals. Which camo is that, Pierre-Char? I'm not familiar with the camo that you're referring to, but if you know the name, I can definitely bring it up next time we have a word with the community manager and see if that's possible. So I know, I know that is something that's been a facet of the, of these monthly finals, is access to otherwise unobtainable camos. And currently, unfortunately, Bullet Life doesn't quite fulfill that, though I imagine, dealers, there must still be a lot of people who didn't get the chance to snaffle it up for themselves in the black market when it was up for about, I think, about a day or so.
Yeah, well, I'm sure that is the case as well, kind of it.
Hey, Jordan Heartmelt. Android squad with active members. I'm not sure if you're asking for one or if you are one already. If you are asking for one, then do head across to the ESL MC5 Discord. There's a recruitment channel there, and you can find yourself a team, and you could be playing in the next Android weekly competition. Ah yes, Jordan, you're looking for a squad. Yep. That Discord is the best place to go. You can start your own team, you can join someone else's. If you take part in one of these community games, you can use that footage of your score from the game to prove your might and get yourself not just a team, but the best team.
And who wouldn't want to play for the best team? Obviously, kind of, if I was good at MC5, then I would actually play for a team, and I would probably be one of the best players ever.
Oh gosh.
It would be legendary.
Virgo Smith, what do we know about constellations? That's a bit out of the blue. I mean, I suppose someone who's known as Virgo might have more interest in such things. Jordan Hartmelt, you can't use Discord on your phone. I think, well, you can use it for a browser. You can use Discord for a browser. So if you've got a working web browser on your phone, then maybe that could still work. Constellation of the Phoenix. Oh, that's what you're referring to. Virgo Smith, maybe. Constellation of the Phoenix Triumphant. Okay, I'll make a note of that. I don't know if they've got particular plans for the Constellation of the Phoenix Triumphants, but I will ask. Okay. Pierre-Char, where did you come across the Constellation of the Phoenix Triumphant? I'm going to have a quick look online for that and see if I can find any information about it. That's... Oh, apparently. Let's see. I'm trying to do a quick Google for it and it's not coming up with anything. Oh, Jordan Hartmel, that's too bad. I think a lot of people will... you kind of will need to have access to Discord, I think, to get into a lot of teams, but I'm not sure, honestly. If any of you guys do... do have any teams which are looking for players, Jordan Hartmelt over on Facebook is looking for a team. In-game name, Riddler. Core wants Invictus.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know. I will try and get some clarification for you guys about, whether or not there's a choice of camos or if it's sort of a rotating kind of thing. However it works, we'll try and make sure there's some kind of statement issued about it so that it's clear for all of you guys what you'll be getting for taking part in ESL competition, if there is a difference between platforms and that kind of stuff. But I think we're about done for this particular tournament. We will be back in just under 3 hours time for our MC5 PC debut of the weekend. Of course, then we'll have our iOS tournaments as regularly scheduled, one much later this evening and one tomorrow. If you haven't already, please do follow Modern Combat on all the social platforms, over on Instagram as well as Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Mobcrush.
Oh yeah.
Dealers, if people want to look for you, then where should they be looking?
Well, you can always find me on the interwebs, or you can just send a doe to me. I even look out for smoke signals, but if you guys are a bit more up on the technologies, then I do have an Instagram too, Facebook and Twitter. Twitter and Instagram are the two platforms that I'm most active on. Or you can always just find me on YouTube.
And it's going to be Deedless Cast, each of those things?
Yes, Deedless Casts with an S at the end.
Ah. If you want to find my good stuff, actually I'll need to get those details from you. Then written down. If you want to see myself, it's twitch.tv, YouTube, or Instagram/counterfeitcast as well. Thank you guys for being with us today. Again, thank you to Hero Gaming Summon, our moderator in the chat, to Nessie Hexagon. Just trying to see if anyone else helped out through the gate today. I think it's mostly those guys. Nessie and Hexagon, thank you, our ESL admins, for making everything happen. To our teams, of course, for providing us with the top quality Android play. And of course, to all you fine folks for coming and spending your time with us. Who again will be back in just under 3 hours on the PC, so hope you'll come and join us for that. For now, we've been Counterfeit and Deedless. This has been the Android Finals for MC5, and we'll see you again soon.